Friday, February 9th. I'm your host, Sarah Beal. On today's show, we talk to Assistant Harbor Master Derek Lawson. He fills us in on moorings and marina renewals. Then we catch up with Assistant Recreation Director John Gleason about the upcoming spring program registration. Finally, we recently went to the Osterville Village Library to learn about all they have to offer. But first, let's get a look at today's top headlines. The Board of Health has announced that there will be a public hearing to review and discuss lifeguard exemption requirements. A public hearing will be held on Tuesday, February 27th at 3 p.m. in the Town Hall hearing room. The hearing will be held to provide citizens the opportunity to be heard. The current requirements for a lifeguard exemption can be viewed on the town website at townofbarnstable.us. A public hearing on changes to various permits and program fees that will take effect July 1st for FY 2019 within the town of Barnstable will be held on February 13th at 10 a.m. in the Town Hall hearing room. Information is available on the town website at townofbarnstable.us or in the town manager's office between the hours of 8:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. The Barnstable Youth Commission will again be hosting their Community Prevention Forum and 7th Grade Youth Summit. The Community Prevention Forum will be held on Thursday, March 15th at Cape Cod Community College in the Tilden Arts Center. The public is welcome to attend for a presentation and open discussion with a panel of Barnstable police officers on what the trends are, what you should look for, as well as a Q&A. The 7th Grade Youth Summit will take place the next day, March 16th, also at Cape Cod Community College, with Dynamic Influence and Kevin Rosario presenting, along with BHS peer leadership. There will also be presentations by many clubs, sports, and activities available when the 7th graders enter the high school in the fall. The Town of Barnstable Planning and Development Department is accepting proposals for the 2018 Community Development Block Grant Program Year. CDBG is a federally funded program from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development to provide affordable housing, economic opportunities, and suitable living environment to low and moderate income residents. Projects must address at least one of the goals of the 5-year consolidated plan: creation or preservation of affordable housing units or economic opportunities, improvements to public facilities, infrastructure or other public improvements, or provisions of services to low-income and special needs populations, including but not limited to homeless persons. Proposed projects that address the goals in the downtown Hyannis neighborhood revitalization strategy area defined in the consolidated plan may be given preference. To be considered, letters of interest must be received in the Planning and Development Department by 4 p.m. on February 28th. Please follow the letters of interest instructions on the town website and refer to the CDBG application guidebook for more details on the process and eligibility requirements. Coming up next, Assistant Harbor Master Derek Lawson. Derek, thank you so much for joining us today. We have a couple projects that we're going to kind of let people know about. First thing we want to talk about is the dredging in Barnstable Harbor that finished in December. So let's talk about how that project went and how the harbor is looking now. Well,
yes, you're correct. They finished up in December. They removed about 7,000 cubic yards in the 60-foot channel that starts just off of Blish Point Boat Ramp and goes out to the green number 1 as you're exiting the channel. Wow. Like I said, it's 60 feet, and they brought it down to 6 feet, so that will greatly improve navigation in that area. I would say so, yeah. That's a pretty significant dredge. It is. The sand over there shifts all the time, as we well know. Storms come in, and it shifts the sand over there. So it would be great for this coming season. Wonderful. Is that kind of an area that you keep an eye on, and it might have to be dredged, you know, on a regular basis? It is. Different portions of the channel we dredge approximately every 5 years or so. This is the entrance channel. A couple of years back, maybe 2 years back, we dredged out past Sandy Neck. And that's where a lot of the sand is coming from the east, past Sandy Neck and into the harbor. I know there's not a ton of large boats that go out of that harbor, but there is the whale watch, so I'm sure that they're very excited to know that that area's been dredged. They'll have a little bit more. Well, fortunately for the whale watch, they don't draft that much. We do have some commercial vessels that are inside that draft a little bit more. Okay. But yes, it's great for everyone using that harbor. Wonderful. We also want to talk about the mooring renewals. Their deadlines are fast approaching, and we want to make sure everyone gets them back, because if you miss the deadline, you're not going to be very happy. That's correct. The deadlines are very important. We have a big one coming up next Thursday. It is the mooring deadline as well as the marina slip list deadline. All of your information has to be in our office by Thursday, February 15th by 4:15 p.m. And the wait list is a big one because once you're off of that, there is no late fee, you're off. So this is an important deadline for folks.
Right, and you want to, you can mail it, you can drop it off.
You can.
You can make sure that it gets there. I know that sometimes people get those things and they're like, oh, I have a little bit of time to wait on that. But you don't want to wait on this. You don't want to...
At this point, you want to bring it to the office as soon as possible. All the mailings went out on December 31st, so we've had some time. So you really want to make sure that if you're on one of these lists that you get into the office or get it to the office as soon as possible.
Yeah. If people have maybe misplaced their mailing, is that something that they can come into the office and
Sure, yes,
deal with?
Definitely. We can help you out with that. If you don't have the forms, the ladies up front will be glad to help you out.
Wonderful, because I know there's some people probably out there that got it and then I misplace mail all the time, so I'm sure people out there have done it. So if you can't find it, don't fret. Just go down to the office, 1189 Finney's Lane, correct?
That is correct.
Wonderful. And the last thing we want to talk about is these vessel identification stickers, which you have one right here.
Sure.
They're orange, and everybody can see what they look like. Let's talk about the importance of these.
Sure. While you're in the office renewing your wait list, your slip list, ask up front and we can hand you out one of these. They're very important. First of all, for any vessel that's stored on town property at town landings, they're required to have these. So we do monitor that. We do go out and enforce that. If we can't find the sticker on there, we could confiscate your vessel, your dinghy, your rowboat, or whatever you have. So it's very important, say if one is misplaced or one is lost, gets washed out with the tide. As soon as we come across the vessel, we'll look for one of these, we find a phone number, we can give you a call real quick and find out if there's an actual emergency, a missing person, or if the boat has just been misplaced. So they're very important.
Yeah, they are, and I think it's important for people to understand that, you don't just want to have it on your dinghy or your rowboat that you used to go out to your bigger boat. Kayaks, canoes, I feel like we see these on the news quite often, is that, there's a kayak that's been found and nobody's around and they don't know if it's an actual person that's missing that fell out of the kayak and maybe is in distress, or if it's, like you said, it just kind of got pulled out with the tide. So, any kind of boat, small boat that you have, you're going to want to put one of these stickers on. They're free, correct?
They're free. Yeah, we'll give those to you for free. And yes, you definitely want to have those on your vessel. And again, they are required if you're going to be storing your boat at any townway to water or landings.
Wonderful. And like you said, they're waterproof. Put your name and your phone number right on them and give you a call. You
can also put your MS number for your vessel if you don't want to put down your phone number.
Right.
That way we can track it through that as well. And if you have one already and you've had it on your boat for a little while, make sure you go back and check to make sure that you can still read the print. They do wear a little bit with the sun, so just make sure that you check that and make sure your information's on there.
Wonderful. Now, is there anything else you want to let our viewers know before I let you go?
Yes, we've had two folks over at MEA just recently graduate the Police Intermittent Reserve Academy.
Oh, wonderful.
Brian Taylor, our mooring officer, and Devin Harrington, our shellfish officer as well. So I just want to say congratulations to them. It's a big commitment. It's about 370 hours. They started back in September. They'll be graduating in a couple weeks, but they just finished up with their firearms training, and I just want to say congratulations to them.
That's wonderful. Yes, congratulations. I've spoken to both of them about this process and how much of a commitment it is, and it takes a lot. It's a lot of time. I think they're in class on weekends. They're in class weeknights. It's a very large commitment.
It is. It's a huge investment of time, and they did a great job. Very proud of them.
And that's great for the town for them to have that.
Yes.
Wonderful. Derek, thank you so much for coming in and joining us today.
No problem. Thank you.
My guest today is Derek Lawson. He's Assistant Harbor Master in the town of Barnstable. Coming up, we head out to the Osterville Village Library, but first we talk recreation with Assistant Recreation Director John Gleason. John, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
We're going to talk about something I know people are really excited for, spring registration.
Absolutely.
It's happening at the end of the month. The program guides are out. You can find it online.
Correct.
There's printed copies, I'm assuming, at the HYCC.
Well, we don't have printed copies yet,
okay.
But it is online, so people can download it from the town website. And we also emailed it out to everyone on our rec track system they got a PDF file, through their email.
Wonderful.
So right now, those are those two avenues, and we should have it ready for next week to go home in the backpacks through the schools.
Wonderful. Now, the spring registration is a big one because it's all the spring activities, and you sign up for it. Registration is February 27th, correct?
Yep, February 27th, 8:30 in the morning, in person, but we also do it online as well. Over the past couple of years, we do have more online people registering, but we still do have people coming in.
Right.
But it all goes live in person and on the website at 8:30 in the morning on the 27th.
Wonderful. Let's talk about some of the programs that people can sign up for this year.
Yeah, great. We have a new one that we're working with the Senior Center on. It's called the Caregiver Walk. So we have a lot of people in town that are providing care for, their mom, their dad, or some sort of relative, and sometimes they don't have their own opportunity to get some exercise. So we're working with the Senior Center, like I said earlier, and they can sign up at the Senior Center. So they can come over to the youth center and go for walks and meet other people that are in their similar situations, and they can get some exercise and just talk and meet new friends and just kind of go over what they've been doing, and maybe they can get some advice from the new people that they meet.
Yeah, we talked with Donna Burns a couple weeks ago about this program, and it sounds really great. It gives the caregivers a chance to know that their loved one that they usually care for is being taken care of, and spending some time on themselves.
Absolutely. And
maybe talking with someone else that's also a caregiver about what kind of issues that they have, and maybe just getting a moment to kind of give to themselves.
Absolutely. A lot of times people always are helping other people as well, and then sometimes they forget the most important person is themselves.
Right.
Because once you take care of yourself, then you can give more to the people that you're taking care of.
Right.
So sometimes people have to realize that, them as an individual is the most important, and then it gives them the strength and energy, and, gives them more time for the people that they love. So
Exactly.
We're looking forward to having this program in our building.
I think it's going to go extremely well. So some of the usual suspects are on this spring registration, but you also have some new stuff. I know mountain biking started. You did that in the fall, correct?
Yeah, we did that in the fall, and it was a huge success. But it's still, relatively new since we've only done it once, and I believe that filled up within hours of us, taking registrations in the fall. So we definitely wanted to let people know that if their child would like to participate in this program, it's a great opportunity, and the business that we work with also provides bikes as well if you need it. So, if you were hesitant that you didn't have a mountain bike or a bike that would work on trails,
Right.
There's an avenue where you could rent a bike from the company. So, hopefully that any child that would want to participate, we could find a way for your child to do that. So we're looking forward to that. We also have a baseball program that we're starting back up again. We used to do junior league baseball and youth type baseball, but Little League got so big and so popular that we, took a step back and let Little League, kind of take control of that. But times are tough getting parents to volunteer to help out with these programs. So Little League approached us in the fall and asked us if we could help out with the 5- and 6-year-old boys and girls that wanted to play baseball. So George Noonan is stepping up and is going to lead that charge. There's really not going to be much difference from what Little League did to what we did. It's just we're going to be in charge of it, and then us going out and getting all the parent volunteer coaches and stuff like that. That's going to be Wednesday nights and Saturday mornings. And Saturday mornings they'll be able to use the 2 LaRusso fields next to our complex and the little Fenway baseball field. So, it will be easy for us to, go over there and work with the 5- and 6-year-olds of baseball. So we're looking forward to that.
That's wonderful, and I think getting the kids involved at that young age, it's a lot of fun. It's a fun time, and kids are trying to figure things out, so it's a great way to kind of test it out to see if your kid would be interested in a sport like that.
Baseball can be tough these days with attention spans of young children, but we're trying to make this like clinics and always having the kids moving and doing something, because you always hear the expression, my child was out there in right field picking daisies or whatever like that. So that might be the case during games. We're always going to try to just make sure that the kids are active and doing something to make baseball, really enjoyable for them. So
wonderful. Some of the other programs that you can find in the spring registration is girls lacrosse.
Yeah, we have a great girls lacrosse program. Melanie Mimo runs that, and we have it from kindergarten all the way through up 7th grade.
Wow, that's great.
So that's a real benefit for the girls to be able to participate in that. We have girls softball that will be at night at the fields. We have our after-school program at the youth center that we'll have. We'll have babysitting. We have all our traditional type programs going on. We'd be here all day if we talked about every single one of them. But those are some of the highlights of this spring. And then just before spring hits, we just came up with a new program called the Virtual Golf Championship. We're working with Don Nolan Golf 365, which is right in downtown Hyannis, and they have an indoor virtual golf range where they have 2 simulators where the kids can hit balls, and a computer will tell them, where the ball goes, how far it goes, and maybe how they could fix their swing. So we came up with the idea of partnering with them to do a tournament geared towards mainly high school age golfers, but we did offer it to 12 and under, that kids that have already been participating in like the First Tee program or other sort of PGA Junior League programs, and we're going to see how that goes. We're looking forward to. We have some few registrations already off the bat. We just started this past Monday the 5th. And it's just a new thing that we're trying, and it's never been done before, at least here in Barnstable. So we're trying it out, and hopefully we have some moderate to good success with that.
That's great. One quick thing before we go, summer leisure program.
Yes.
When is that registration happening?
So that is March 13th, Tuesday, and I think Mickey was on maybe last week that talked about that, and I'm sure she'll probably be on again just prior to. Same sort of thing, just like all other registrations. It's in person or online at 8:30 in the morning. One thing that we have been working on in the off season, striving for better customer service, is now the forms will be able to be filled out. I say online, but the PDF will be you'll be able to type in your information, so you don't have to handwrite it all out. So that process should go a little easier for most people. They would have to save that PDF, and then if they have multiple children, they can just start filling it out for the other child, where most of the information is still the same, and then they could save it as their second child, and that should speed up the process. You still have to email it into us or bring it into us. Which hopefully would make a little better customer service and speeding up the process of registering.
Wonderful. I just want to make sure people are aware. Summer leisure program signups. I know it's such a popular program, so make sure nobody misses it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do have one more thing that I wanted to highlight for the HYCC for the rinks. This month we have a thing called Skate for Love, where during public skate you can bring in canned food items throughout the month at public skate, and then at the end of the month those foods will be donated to a food pantry. So if you are coming to public skate, it'd be great to drop off a couple cans of soup or whatever you have in your cupboard, and bring them to the HYCC. That would be really appreciated.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, John, for coming in
no problem.
and talking to us about all these wonderful programs.
All right, great. Thank you.
Thank you. My guest today is John Gleason. He's the Assistant Recreation Director here in the town of Barnstable. Cindy, we're here at the beautiful Osterville Village Library. Thank you so much for having us come in today.
Oh, it's our pleasure. We always like to have you here.
Wonderful. There's so much going on at the libraries all the time, other than just checking out books or coming in and using the computer. All of the village libraries do so much more than that. So let's focus on some of the great activities that you have coming up. The first thing I want to talk about, because it's happening this weekend, is Chocolate Fest.
Yes, that's this Saturday, and we start off the morning at 10 o'clock with the dog parade. So you can dress up your little sweetheart and anything, and we parade around town, and there's prizes and treats afterwards, because we are a dog-friendly library.
Right.
And then we have the chocolate contest, where people can bake something and bring it in, and we have 3 great chefs that are going to be judging the contest. That's going to take place in the atrium here. And then at 2 o'clock we have a really fun idea, a social event. It's a blind date with a book, where you bring 3 books or your Kindle or reading list, and you speed date based on what your reading list is. And so you might find a mentor or a friend or a companion, and it should just be a lot of fun of a different time of social event.
That's wonderful. So you're going to match people up. They'll get a couple minutes to each talk about whatever, which one of their books that they really loved, and maybe inspire that person to also read that book. Or
or they might find they have a common interest, whether it be business, romance, art and things like that. And it could be, as I say, a friend, a mentor, or a companion. You never know.
That's wonderful. Yeah, you're right. You never know. Valentine's Day is right around the corner.
That it is.
The season for love. The Chocolate Fest sounds like so much fun. And you've done this for quite a few years here at the library.
Yes, we're happy to host it. The Osterville Village Association and the OBPA put it on, but we are the host site for it. And there's a lot of activities through the village, and we have information on everything going on throughout the village here also.
Wonderful. The next thing we want to talk about is here at the library, it's not just about checking out books. There's so many things that you can check out. I know some libraries, they have telescopes and other things like that. You have sewing machines. What kind of things can you check out at the library other than books and maybe like a movie?
Well, we're really working on that. And as you said, the sewing machine, we have that, a brand new, beautiful sewing machine. We have a watt tester, so you can see how much usage an appliance in your house is using.
Oh, wow.
For the summer, we have a soil tester, so you can check your soil's pH and sunlight and things like that. We have a meditation kit, a bird watching kit with binoculars and a field guide. We have a keyboard, a ukulele, which is always out, a tide pool kit for the summer. We just have lots and lots of kits that we're always adding to. We have one on the national parks, on learning coding for Python, and we're always expanding that.
What are some of the, obviously it's not going to be like a book where you can take something out for 2 weeks, or can you take it out?
Yeah, you can take it out, yes. You just have to bring it back here.
Right.
But we also have like 75 puzzles you can check out,
wow.
and also about 20 games that you can check out also, which is nice.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that idea, because it's not just, you don't come to the library just for books. I love that idea of the library is more than just, books. It's really a community center, and here in the town, there's, all the villages have their own library, so there's so many things that you can do. We also want to talk about, you have this 21st century makerspace.
This we are so excited about. We've recently received a grant from the Horizon Foundation. And with this grant, we were able to buy 12 beautiful high-end laptops, a 3D printer. We're getting a green screen and Oculus Rift and Google Touch. It's really just going to be an amazing experience. We're working with Cape Literacy and Capabilities and different organizations to help work with people to bring up their skills on computers, plus with Junior Tech hopefully being a spot for them to do coding with the kids in the summertime. It's just really going to hopefully, elevate so many people, because we feel the more people we can train and get more computer and digital literate, then that helps everything. That helps the housing, they can get better jobs, that helps the food pantries, and it just helps our community as a whole.
You're right, computer literacy is paramount in this day and age, that everybody know the basics of how to use a computer. So it's wonderful that you're going to have this. Everything that you're going to have in this makerspace sounds so amazing. I'm so excited you're going to have a 3D printer, because I know that's such a big, exciting thing that people are really interested in these days.
Well, it's fun. We've been doing a intro to social media and emerging technology class like once a month, and it's been very well attended, and people are very interested in the 3D printer. And it's kind of like how things are evolving from paper resumes to video resumes. And now it's like, if I'm an artist and I bring in my sneaker design and it's on a flat piece of paper, or I bring in a 3D printer of my, that's the world we're coming to.
Right. Everything's got to be a little bit more than it was.
Yes.
How can people learn about all this interesting and wonderful, amazing programs and things you're doing here at the Osterville Library?
They can go to our website, ostervillevillagelibrary.org. We have a calendar on the website. They can follow us on Facebook, where the events are always listed there. We have, probably about 20, 30 events this month coming up. And we have a very exciting summer coming. We're going to have 35 Ralph Cahoon and Martha Cahoon paintings up in the main meeting room. We're going to have an amazing car for the car raffle, and just follow us or visit our website or come in here, and we'll take you on a tour and show you what a beautiful place this is.
Wonderful. Cindy, thank you so much for letting us come out to the library and chat with you about it today.
It's our pleasure.
I appreciate it. My guest today is Cindy Cotton. She's the Executive Director here at the Osterville Village Library. Now let's take a look at next week's board, committee, and commission schedule. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be back next week with an all-new show. On Monday's show, we'll have Jen Clark from Barnstable Public Schools and Darren Stalker from Cape Cod Community College. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Beal.